Hey everybody, Jay Weidner here, and we're reading from now chapter 8, Monument to the End of Time by me and the late great Vincent Bridges. This is chapter 8, section 1, Philosopher's Stone and the Quality of Time. A lot of illustrations I'll be showing you on this one. After decoding the cross at Hendaye, we found ourselves on the horns of a dilemma. On the one hand, we could be fairly certain that we were reading Fulcanelli and the monument's message correctly. On the other hand, there seemed to be no rational explanation possible for that message. The end of the world had been predicted before and is yet to happen, so why should this be any different? If the end is coming, if the end is coming, it is a self-fulfilling prophecy based on our capacity to destroy ourselves. Cosmology would seem to have little to do with it. And yet, Fulcanelli insists that it does. His suggestion that alchemy and Chaleism are connected led us to the Gnostic concept of the great return of the lesser lights to the light and its origin in the illuminated astronomy of the Bahir. According to tradition, this ancient science derived from Abraham's covenant with the God Most High, the El, that's El, in the sky. As we saw above, Abraham was revered as the greatest astronomer of his age, drawing on the wisdom of Egypt and India. From the Bahir, the Bible, and surviving esoteric fragments from groups such as the Golden Dawn, we can reconstruct the major points of this astronomical perspective. Space was envisioned as a cube within a sphere. The equator of that sphere was the sun's apparent path through the constellations of the zodiac. The cube was positioned so that its vertical edges intersect the cusp of Scorpio Sagittarius, Gemini Taurus, Pisces Aquarius, and Virgo Leo. Above the cube is the top portion of the sphere, the constellation of Draco, coils about the still point of the north ecliptic pole. This El, in the sky was antiquity's high god, with the planets hanging from its coils. The south ecliptic pole of the sphere rests on the brilliance of the lesser Magellanic cluster, shaped like a turtle, by the way. This eternally unmoving axis was thought to be the middle pillar of a vast tree of life in the world of action. However, Kabbalist theory suggested that if there was one tree in a world, then there should also be a reflection of all four trees in the multiverse. The Bahir solved this by implying a projected jewel-like tree that covered the surface of the sphere. The center point of the sphere, our sun in the Tipperith position, would then be projected outwards onto the edges of the cube to form four interlocking trees. All right, this is my first illustration here. So what we're saying is, see that? That's, you take the tree of life and then we bend it, see? And then we interlock four of them to make a sphere. With this part right here, the cube, there would be a cube right here, where Tipperith is. I know it's complicated. Okay, and then before I go any further, I also want to show you the cube of space, what I was talking about. So that's the cube of space. That's the Earth in the center. Those are the zodiacal signs associated with the edges of the cube. This also gives us the basis for the four ages. The sun's precessional alignment with those projected Tipperith centers is the transition point between ages. Each time the equinox or solstice crosses one of these points in the 26,000-year precessional course, the Earth enters a new age. However, our illuminated astronomy also provides us with two more teli, our dragon axis. These can be seen as the snake of the Milky Way and the snake of the planetary equator formed by the wobble of the Earth's tilt. The snake or dragon of the Milky Way crosses the solar ecliptic at the northwest, Scorpio Sagittarius, and the southeast, Taurus Gemini. Tipperith corners. The equator snake of the planet, however, controlled by the precessional wobble, moves its equinox point on the ecliptic 1 degree counterclockwise approximately every 72 years. Thus, those moments when the snake makes right angles or direct conjunctions with each other determine the quality of time for that age. The event which gave Abraham his insight into the nature of time, or the window of the letter He needed to spell Abraham with his covenant with God, was his covenant with God. And this event, we are told in Genesis, a fiery torch passed through the alignment of sacrifices from the northwest to the southeast, an alignment preserved to this day by the location of the black stone in the cube or Kaaba of Mecca. This is the galactic axis, of course. Abraham's covenant represents a shift from the high God of the El or El to a new hidden God, controlling the temporal quality of the galactic axis and its alignments. This God, unlike the placid and benign El, could become angry and dispense judgment and destruction. This God promised Abraham that his descendants would become as the stars. Whether in number or quality is uncertain. The Shlea's promise also lay at the heart of the hidden God's covenant. Just as he could dispense judgment, so too could he dispense transformation, inshallah, or as God wills it, as the Muslims would say. Now let us imagine the astronomical object from the outside. We see 22 circles, 26 if we include dot, D-A-A-T dot, abyss in the tree of life, on the surface of the sphere, which contains a cube formed from the intersection of the 3 planes generated by the dragon axis. On each plane is a tree of life joined at the center of the sphere. This breaks the sphered cube into 8 cells, each of which has 3 faces reflecting outward from the central Tippereth point. From this, we can see the astronomical stone of the wise is also a depiction of a tesseract, a 4th dimensional or hypercube with 8 cells, 16 vertices, 24 faces, and 32 edges. Note within this geometric progression, 8, 16, 12 of the star and the sun on the Hendaye cross. Okay, now we're getting into it. All right, so this is the spherical tree of life is seen from the top and unfolded at the horizon. This is Darlene's work. So this is 4 trees of life kind of glued together to create a central cube. Here is a tesseract, or the cube. It's a hypercube, a cube within a cube. This is a cube unfolded, so it's shaped like a cross. See, that's the origins of Christianity. All right. Find where I'm at here. Yeah. As we said before, the cross at Hendaye is an exploded or schematic view of this philosopher's stone in the heavens. This is easy to see by simply collapsing the cross into the space of the pedestal. The pillar folds in along the northwest-southeast axis, with the 2 arms of the upper cross forming the other 2 axes. Think of these as plain surfaces with the tree of life patterns on them, and we have the precious stone of the wise from the Bahir. The images on the 3-dimensional surface of our pedestal cube act as informational markers, telling us how to align our hypercube to predict the quality of time in our age. As we saw above, this alignment involves the precessional equinox cross of Leo on the fall equinox, combined with the solstice markers that include the helical rising of the hidden god of the galactic center with the winter solstice sunrise. Our Bahiric philosopher's stone suggests that this season in time is one of great transformation, perhaps even the day of judgment alignment prefigured by Abraham's sacrifices. Our precious stone of the wise becomes even more curious when we consider that there are stars in each of the 22 or 26 circles on the surface of the celestial sphere. By using the most prominent star closest to the center of each circle, we can create a unique intergalactic distance density zip code for our local solar system. If we had to set out to design a system that tells us a specific quality of time in a specific locality of space, it is hard to imagine anything more simple and efficient than this ancient perspective. Somehow this information survived the purges and persecutions until someone coded it in stone in the late 17th century at Hendaye. Even then, the information wasn't lost. It was rediscovered in the 19th century and revealed to the public in the 20th by Fulcanelli. However, when the Hendaye chapter was published in 1957, less than 50 years remained until the first precessional marker. Perhaps this was part of the plan, because only in the last 50 years or so has science caught up with Abraham the patriarch's level of understanding. Okay, so that's the end of that chapter. This is the accesses, the three accesses right here. I'll let you look at that for a while. And then this is the disk of our solar system and the center of the galaxy. The tilt that we have, a 60-degree tilt. And this is our 23.5-degree tilt that gives us the precession of the equinoxes. Yeah, really hats off to Darlene, Vincent's wife. She really did a great job. This is the center of the galaxy and where we are. That's our star, the sun. All right, so what the cross of Hendaye is doing is telling us, it's telling us about these four trees of life, which are married together to form a cube at Tippereth. So there's a cube. That cube is, we're in the center of that cube is the sun and us. And we're in Malkuth and below that. So you can create, by putting stars in each of the places on all four sides of this cube tree of life that's put together into a cube or into a sphere and then a cube, you can literally create an address in space and time for where we are. And it would be the perfect place, perfect way to create an interstellar address. So you just put it in your computer, it'd be the only place would have those configurations and you would know right where you were. So anyway, that's the first step in the first section of the chapter 8 of this monument to the end of time, which we get into kind of the cosmological and intergalactic parts of the cross of Hendaye. And again, I don't agree with a lot of our findings that I'm about to present to you, and I will correct what I think are those findings because of new research. It was 20 years ago. Anyway, so we are entering the season of the apocalypse. We did enter in 2002, and we've been in it ever since. And I don't know where this is going. It's clear to me that the elites know this. And since they chased the OSS, which later became the CIA, chased Fulcanelli all around France trying to find him, I'm going to have to say that that's who's interested in it. All right. All right, I'm Jay Weidner. It's been Reality Check, reading from the book, A Monument to the End of Time. We're actually getting close to the end now. And thank you all for watching, and hit like, subscribe, and all that other stuff. And I will be back, I hope. See you later.